Hello. That's not the voice I expected you to use.
Exactly. I thought I'd start a little bit different this week.
Oh, very exciting.
Isn't it just?
It's half expecting just to... Because now I'm quite used to just listening to Spooky Shelf. So I always expect you to hear the music and then you start talking, but no.
Well, I mean, we could take off some other podcasts. We say, hello, welcome to the Off Menu podcast. We'll try and confuse everybody.
Should we just start naming episodes after other podcasts?
I think that might be a good way of, it might be good for our SEO. You know, if we just start calling ourselves by other names.
What if we did a podcast that just reviews other podcasts?
I'm sure that exists. Well, I mean, the Pod Bible podcast doesn't quite review them, but it does sort of shout about them. So I know that is a thing. But
what if we did it so that every time another podcast released an episode, we released one called exactly the same thing with reacts at the end?
Do you know how many podcasts there are? We'd have to
we don't have to do all of them.
Oh,
just
okay.
like, the top
hitters.
10.
Your Diary of a CEO, your My Dad Wrote a Porno, although that finished a little while ago, didn't it? What else is there? What's another big one? Cereal. We could do cereal, except we spell it, breakfast cereal, and we just review different cereals. That 100% already exists.
But while listening in the background, and you can hear it audibly on the recording.
Just in the background.
A serial killer podcast.
Adnan
or just
maintains
interview
his
tapes.
innocence, and there's just us just
like ASMRing cereal while listening to a serial killer podcast. That's, a niche that doesn't need to be filled.
No. Time to leave it well enough alone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, speaking of niches...
I was going to say, speaking of leaving things well the fuck alone...
Oh, which one? I don't know which one you hate more.
That does surprise me, to be fair.
I mean, I think I know which one is your least favourite of these two, but I don't know if you hate them both.
Okay. Well, let's start with the Fades.
Yeah, what, you mean cancelled after 6 episodes, the Fades?
Cancelled, was it?
Cancelled, yes.
It was cancelled.
Yeah. Despite having a cast that is too good for it.
The Fades won the BAFTA Award for Best Drama Series in 2012.
There wasn't any other drama series in 2012.
Oh my god, you're right though. The cast is ridiculous.
Like if you tick off big franchises that you'd want actors from, you've got MCU's there for guy who plays Paul, because he's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Ian Castica?
Yeah, see, that's why I said the guy who plays Paul.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones with Natalie Dormer.
Mm-hmm.
Lucifer himself, Tom Ellis.
Not Brett Goldstein. Yep.
Joe Dempsey's in it as well, apparently. So, more Game of Thrones.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Obviously, horror boy.
I'm pretty sure. Has he won an Oscar? Yes. He's received numerous Oscars, including an Academy Award. Yes. Oscar-winning Daniel Kaluuya. And that's what you make. You have all of that talent, and this is what you make. Nah, bless it. Like, I mean, no one sets out to make a bad show, do they? It just...
I think
we're the wrong audience. That's the polite way of saying it, isn't it?
The thing, I don't think it knows what it wants to be.
I think you're absolutely right.
Because I think it's trying to do a bit of everything I get, like a coming-of-age, horror, spooky thing. There's kind of just a bit Because I think this must have been after Being Human had finished.
Well, I think it was 2011. Yeah, September 2011. This broadcast.
Oh, so it would have been after the better series of the better seasons of Being Human, because that would have been around season 5, 6, I think.
Yeah. Because Being Human must have started, 2007, 8? Around then?
Yeah, it started early enough that one of the lead actors had to leave to go and be in The Hobbit, so...
Yeah. You would, though, wouldn't you? You would.
Oh, yeah, no, you, like, if Tolkien came along and went... Well, not him, he himself, because he's very dead. But if I got offered to be in a Tolkien film, I wouldn't be like, I'm not an actor. Fuck off. I'd be like, yes, please. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to be a dead guy? I can be a dead guy.
Could you? Because
not for reals.
that'd really, really work out for me.
Oh.
We haven't even said what this is about yet. Partly because I don't fucking know.
Well, there are, like, ghosts, and not everyone can see them. People who can see them get a bit spooked, and sometimes they die.
That's it.
And for about the first 5 minutes, someone's just carrying around Marjorie Tyrell.
Yeah. God, it went on a bit, didn't it? That opening.
Yeah. I noticed that every time it turned so that her ass wasn't in the shot, it would cut and move to a new camera position where it was. I don't know if that was intentional, but...
It's interesting that you noticed. So, you filthy pervert.
I was just trying to think of something interesting that happened. Lee Guy wets the bed a lot.
You've got me there.
Also, he smokes because it's cool. So, got that right.
Yeah. Smoking does look really cool, and it means you can hang out with cooler people. So, you definitely should start smoking.
Yeah. So, from what I understand, it was cancelled because no one really knew what it was and no one was watching it.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me it was cancelled, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah. Weirdly, I think Natalie Dormer, like, not weird that she defended it because obviously she was in it. But I think she said that it was a brave show for trying to do so much. I was like, no. I don't... It is interesting to mix genres, but not like this. I didn't really enjoy it.
No, it just became another in the long list that we've got for like fantasy shows that didn't do it particularly well. I properly bounced off this.
Because did you start off just being like, ooh, vampires?
I thought because the way that they moved at the start, I was like, oh, is this a zombie thing?
Because of the way that... I think it was the way that the, like, bigger bad moved. I was like, ooh,
yeah,
vampires. And I was like, vampires is interesting. And then they went, oh, no, they're kind of ghosty things that shouldn't really be able to touch us. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, fuck that. And then, yeah, I don't know. And then there was that weird scene where they're all walking through the woods and they're all, like, glowing and shit.
Yeah.
And then Natalie Dormer looks like she's going to, like, turn into a big glowy thing and then disappear. And then she doesn't, and she just looks sad. And I was like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what, like, I feel like it needed...
What would you fix? How would you fix it? Would you burn the script?
I felt like it was sort of confused as to which audience it was going after, because it feels like, a YA sort of thing. But then I feel like it was trying to aim a bit older. So I don't really know.
So while it's cool to be able to tick off like Tom Ellis and be able to be like, cool, that's like he's got a big franchise that he's the lead of. What purpose did his character serve? Because he's just kind of there to link a story together, and then probably didn't happen this episode, but probably be accused of murdering his wife.
Yeah, it's definitely the way that it felt it was going, didn't it? So maybe that's something I would change. Like maybe get rid of a couple of characters.
I think,
But then
don't show. I think maybe what it did is it showed its hand a bit early in the shopping centre, where it just went like, well, here's the entire plot. It's like this guy can see these things, rather than just being like letting you experience it through him. You then cut away and then learn all about it from another set of characters. I think maybe that, maybe just pick one of the story threads and just stay there. Because you could do the underworld sort of hunting thing, where it's the nomadic people who are just like hunting down these fades. Or you could do young kids being dragged through it, or you could do whatever Tom Hanks's character was going to do. Be accused of murder.
It's going to sound like a very strange thing to comment on, but it feels like a BBC Three thing.
It was.
But do you know what I mean when I say it felt like a BBC
I think
Three, like a sub.
I saw the opening credits and went, oh, this is after Being Human.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably that was their thinking. Is like, oh well, we had a supernatural drama that did really, really well for us, or it did decent numbers.
It did well enough that America copied it.
Yeah. So then they just thought, well, let's just commission another one. But like, I don't know. I don't know what it is that I've changed. It didn't feel like. I feel like it was weirdly for the fact that it was a 60-minute show, which on the BBC is fairly unusual for a show like this.
Nothing happened. Well, lots of things.
A lot happened, but then also nothing happened at the same time. It felt like it was a complete race through it, but at the same time, I was like, this is a bit of a slog.
Yeah. I know what you mean, because I saw that it was like, I think the runtime of the first episode was like 57 minutes. I was like, oh, please. I mean, but it was free to watch with a TV license, so, that's something.
Yeah, well, you never know. We might not be allowed to speak out against the BBC for much longer.
I know, we don't work for them. But neither do you.
Well, actually, I've just taken over as Match of the Day commentator.
Oh, I see. You saw that they were all not going to work that day, and you were like, I do that.
Yeah. I said, gap in the market.
Yeah, does anyone want me to come on? I know several things about football, like the shape of the ball. It's like an oval.
Yeah.
And you try and kick it over all the time.
Yep, and that's a touchdown. What else is there? If you knock them all over,
don't forget
it's a
about
strike.
the sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, the bat. Yeah.
And the wicket? I think there's a wicket.
But what you don't
want little Ewok guy who's on the side.
But you got to avoid potting the black. So, yeah. A lot to remember, but I feel like I'm across most of it. Did you see any of the fucking... What was it? There's that fucking bunch of absolute knobheads that did, like, alternative match of the day, and they tried, like, some jokes, and they were just fucking dreadful. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, my God. When we're done on this, just have a quick look at a clip of, like, alternative match of the day. It is the least funny thing. They're clearly like trying to take a couple of pops at the BBC and just nothing lands. Even among all of them, there's about 5 or 6 of them. Even among each other, their jokes aren't landing. So it was
That's
fucking,
good.
It was just like, oh, this is real cringe. This is really bad.
Yeah. I can't tell if you're talking about those jokes or this show.
Well, a little from column A.
A lot from column B.
Column B.
Yeah, it's a shame because it seems like there might have been bones there.
No, they're ghosts. So if it was bones, it would have been zombie.
Oh, I see. Funny guy, are we?
I suppose the only the positive thing is that obviously being a big genre fan, I'm pleased. Hopefully, some kid watched this and it was like their gateway into sci-fi and fantasy and horror and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully that's what happened with this, but it felt quite derivative. I actually found Daniel Kaluuya quite annoying. Like even when they when they were doing the shtick about Sixth Sense, and he was saying, "Oh, you know, what if he's a ghost? How can he go into the coffee shop? You know, Bruce Willis looks like a man who likes a coffee. So when he goes, I was like, oh mate, just fucking turn it in." So I did actually find the kids quite annoying.
Well, yeah, because also the kid drama stuff really sort of took away from the high intense, like, oh fuck, there's a monster drama.
Yeah.
Which I feel like really should have been first and foremost in the minds of everyone. They were like,
the high bar that you're aiming for when you're talking about that sort of thing is Buffy, because Buffy just took, like, you know, things that were troubling to a kid going through school, and then made metaphors out of those in the monsters, and then that's how you discuss those topics. This just didn't get anywhere near that sort of, you know.
Yeah. I wonder if they maybe had plans to try and make this into like a Buffy-esque sort of BBC Buffy.
I don't know, because it didn't well, I mean, you could say that, yeah, I was going to say, because, like, it didn't feel very sort of Monster of the Weeky, which Buffy absolutely did. But then if they only got 6 episodes, you can't really do Monster of the Week with a 6th of your series, you know?
Yeah. I guess maybe they... yeah. I don't know. I'm never going to find out either, which is...
So I think we're agreed that we're just giving this one a swerve. I'm pleased it exists because it's, you know, adding to...
And also, like,
stuff,
like that is a phenomenal cast to put all in one thing.
Yeah.
If the linking game hadn't been broken by, like, big franchises that go on forever and have every actor in the world in them, this would have been a good one to be able just to link a bunch of things together. But speaking of people who were in Game of Thrones, and we did at some point in the last 20 minutes.
And putting things back together.
Yeah, I think I had in my head a joke about being in Stitches, but then the conversation moved on.
Oh, sorry.
That was going to be my segue into...
Do you want to do it again?
No, it's fine because you're not that funny.
Oh.
Got him. Yeah, Sean Bean, Riverboy.
That's what they should have called it, isn't it? Sean Bean, Riverboy. Aquaman. Yeah, Frankenstein Chronicles.
Yeah, Sean Bean's in season 2 of this. Apparently, that's all I know about it going in, is that Sean Bean makes it to season 2.
Well, yeah, I mean that's got to be quite unusual for him, to be fair. But
yeah, he's not used to getting contract extensions.
So yeah, it's a take on the Frankenstein story, but from the perspective of the police who are investigating what's going on, and it's almost set itself up as like a whodunit mystery, isn't it? Because there's these bodies of these kids that have shown up. They've found essentially a body washes up on the shores of presumably the Thames, and
well, yeah, he's part of the Thames River Police.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense then.
But he does just out like River Police.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? It's like SWAT.
Yeah, I didn't know you had to announce your full like job title
in the 1800s when they're like, well, no, we got to give them a fair chance.
Got to give them a fair chance and remind them where they are.
Oh fuck! I thought it was in the Seine. Yeah, so there's a body that washes up, and it's apparent that this is it's a child's body that's been made up of 7 or maybe 8 constituent sort of bodies, and it's all been Frankenstein together.
Yeah, I was disappointed when the coroner couldn't say at a glance how many children were in that body. Because he was like, oh, I reckon it's probably about 7, and then he comes back like 10 minutes later, he's like, no, it was 8.
What happened? Mr. Toe. I don't know. Something that, like, as soon as they mentioned it, I was like, oh, that would make more sense, but isn't in. I don't think it's in the original Frankenstein text. It's the fact that it's kids' bodies. But I was like, actually, and this is where I started worrying about myself. I was like, that does make more sense because it would be easier to move 7 or 8 kids' bodies rather than 7 or 8 big lads. Here's the thing with Frankenstein Chronicles, right? And
Is it the fact that the whodunit is solved by the name of the show?
this is the trouble I'm having. Is like, surely we're just going to get to a bit where they're wandering about, and then they go, "Oh, we found an address. Okay, where are we going? We're going to see a man called Dr. Victor Frankenstein." And we'll just be like, "Probably him then, I reckon." But then I guess
what I noticed is that everyone seems to have such like common, recognisable, quite British names. Got John, Robert, Joseph, Daniel, and then you're going to throw in a Victor? It'll be like, yeah, I reckon it's probably him.
that cunt, I reckon.
Well, I'm looking down the list. There isn't a Frankenstein listed.
No, this is something that I've also realised that...
Has it possibly been cancelled before it got to conclusion?
It was announced that Netflix struck a deal to carry the programme in the United States and other territories, but it was removed in February 2022. So I guess it's sort of not cancelled, but they're not doing anything with it. I guess that's the first thing they thought of, is when they were like, okay, we're going to do it from the perspective of the people looking into the Frankenstein case. They would just go, well, surely that's our first problem, so let's not name them Victor Frankenstein. And if you look further down that list, there is a character called Mary Shelley who appears. So presumably she is then going to base the novel on these crimes. That's surely got to be what it is.
So I guess maybe they're doing this as in like she's going to have changed some names to be like...
Yeah. Avoid
to make it fiction. Yeah.
I have just seen that Lawrence Fox is in this, which is a shame because now
I saw that as well.
Like I was so yeah, I really liked this. But now that I've seen that he's in it, I kind of, it genuinely is stopping me thinking, oh, I'm definitely going to watch more of this.
I suppose it depends how big a part he plays.
Lawrence Fox joining the cast. Let's see, who is he? Frederick Dipple, a socialite with an interest in automata.
Oh, you can watch Series 1. He's only in Series 2.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's all right then. Oh, yeah, I'll watch Series 1 for sure. And then, like, Series 2, I'd probably give it a swerve. But isn't that crazy that I hate that guy that much? That I won't watch a show that he's in, even though I like everything else about the show.
Yeah, and it's a shame that some people can be so loathsome. Because I really enjoyed this as well. Which did and didn't surprise me, because I... obviously don't know a huge amount about Frankenstein. I know that his monster was a bit like, weird looking.
At best.
But it's also a really interesting way to take quite a well-known and famous story and then just be like, but what if you didn't know? And what if you were the villagers with pitchforks?
Yeah.
Because I guess, because Frankenstein's, I mean, I don't know I've never read the book, so I don't know how it's told, but is the story told from his point of view, where he's just like, I want to make something that's dead into something that's not dead?
I haven't actually read it either, but I think there's part of it that's from the creatures, 'cause that's what I think they call it. He referred to it as the creature. I think it's partly, at least, from his point of view. Let's have a look. I know that it starts with a letter, because weirdly I started listening to the audiobook that's on BBC Sounds of it last night, and it starts with a letter, so I wondered if it was like Dracula, like it was an epistolological novel.
I see.
An epistle. Here we go. So Frankenstein is a frame story written in epistolary form. There you go. Documents fictional correspondence between Captain Robert Walton and his sister Margaret Walton Saville. Victor, the recounted story serves as the frame for Frankenstein's narrative. So then Victor begins by telling the story of his childhood. Then the creature relates the first days of his life living around the wilderness. It goes on to the creature. Then it goes back to Frankenstein, and then it finally ends up with Captain Walton's conclusion. It actually, the structure of it sounds brilliant, because it is literally it's a 5-act thing. Captain Walton, Victor, creature, Victor, Captain Walton. Oh, I'm gonna have to give this a read, or listen to it or something.
Yeah, I think more interested in it now than I maybe was yesterday.
I mean, to be fair, it probably is worth reading something that's lasted, 200 years. So,
Yeah, probably.
and also, I think it like sort of kicks off the sort of gothic fiction movement, and it's fronted up by a woman whose husband was a poet and a writer in his own right. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I think she won the marriage.
Although I think there's some quite unsavoury stories about Percy Shelley, apparently. But anyway,
Well, that makes sense. That's how Lawrence Fox gets in.
Yeah, I really like, and you know me, like gothic stuff. I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
I did wonder if this might get the sort of the Penny Dreadful treatment, which is, on paper, I should love,
But
Penny
for some
Dreadful,
reason
I should
can't.
love. Yeah, like The Witcher 3. Like on paper, that's a game that's made with me in mind, but up until recently, I've just not enjoyed it.
Yeah. Whereas I think it had sort of taboo-ish vibes, where it was...
Yes, that was yeah, that's a really good point. That occurred to me as well.
Where it's like just sort of weird shit going on, and there's a lot of like standing, like ankle deep in water, like just looking. And I've also figured out how Sean Bean managed to get into season 2. He was an associate producer.
So there you go. He's put his foot down. He's got, right, listen. What have I done?
But luckily this time he didn't put his foot down and it caused an axe to like swing through his head somehow. But the man is good at dying, so...
Okay, so I've just read an accidental spoiler. And...
He's not going to be in season 3 because they're not making one.
It's not that. It's just that it might not be quite as cut and dry as he transitions from series 1 to series 2 smoothly. I'm 100% going to watch the rest of this now that I've just seen how it ends.
Oh, does he become...
I have to know how they get to this point.
Okay, yeah, no, I think I'm piling up quite a little backlog of TV shows to watch, but...
Well, I mean, we are both about to just have a week off, so it should be
yeah,
plenty
but
of time.
I've already got like 4 that I need to catch up on.
Well, you don't need to sleep, do you?
No.
That's a point, isn't it? We're going axe throwing on Saturday, aren't we? That's going to be fun.
And apparently we're not allowed to drink beforehand.
Are you joking? Are we not?
I think that's why we're doing it first, so that we can
get on and drink afterwards.
Yeah, because I think the idea is that you don't drunk throw axes.
Well, what's the fucking point of going?
Well, I mean, I did ask if you were the target, and I was told no. And I said, I'm not coming then.
I mean, to be fair...
I reckon I can get it to Ricochet.
This is the thing, is who's going to really stop us if I go, yeah, fuck it, and I go stand in front of the target and you have an axe? No one's going to stop us, are they?
No. I mean, they'll stop us leaving before the police come up. Well, I think actually you'll be waiting for an ambulance. I'll be waiting for the police.
Look, we could really do with some decent content for co-pilots, and I think that the only natural conclusion to the show is you burying a hatchet into my forehead.
Happy episode 200. As I've just carved 200 into your chest with the axe that split your skull. It's fine. I could be a death metal band and make that an album cover.
Yeah, there you go. It writes itself.
It's been done before. I've sort of run out of nice things to say about this. I like Sean Bean.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really get it. Did you like it as well?
Yes. No.
Okay,
This has been on my list of things to watch for a while because I'm like, Sean Bean goes to season 2. And then I've seen some of the other people who are in it, and I was like, oh, Vanessa Kirby is in a bunch of other stuff that I've watched that I liked. Katie Dickey's there, so, you know.
Oh, she's
more
brilliant.
Thrones.
She is always brilliant.
And that's it for my list of people that I recognise from this cast.
I don't know who Vanessa Kirby is, actually. Oh, do you not recognise... hang on. Her name is Anna Maxwell Martin. She was in Line of Duty.
Yes, but she's not in the first episode, so she's in the next time bit. But
I'm just having a look at what Vanessa Kirby's done that I might have seen.
a bunch. You've seen the first episode of The Crown, so you have seen her in something.
Mission Impossible Fallout. Don't remember her in it, but I have seen that.
And she was in one of the Fast and Furious spin-off for Hobbs and Shaw, which is
I don't
good.
think I've seen that.
But maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think I've seen that she was in was Mission Impossible.
I assumed it was. I thought she'd done The Crown first and then this, but no, she was in The Crown after this, and hasn't been back to telly since.
Meanwhile, Kate Dickie has just been killing it in everything because she is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I last saw her in The Green Knight, and she was brilliant in that.
I think the last thing that I watched that she was in was probably Red Road.
Oh God, no. No.
Oh, she's going to be in the next season of... Wait, it's... yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It is the TV series. I was like, is there just going to be some random film called Loki? There's nothing to do with the MCU?
Her character in Peaky Blinders is apparently called Mother Superior.
Yeah.
Doling out smack.
Well, she's got the right accent.
Yeah. Oh, she's been in some incredible stuff, hasn't she? But she's kind of like one of those low-key actors, isn't it? Like, you don't hear much about her, but she's just awesome in everything.
When, like a more subtle Gary Oldman. Yeah. Where, like... Because Gary Oldman, you know it's him. Because everyone shouts about it and they're like, wow, I can't believe Gary Oldman's in this thing. And you wouldn't know it's him. It's like, he's an actor. But she's a bit like that, but she doesn't play, like, lead characters.
Yeah, she's not often...
From the things that I've seen, anyway, like, she probably is a lead character in a bunch of stuff, but...
Well, she's in The Northman, which is on my list of things to watch.
Oh, is it on our list of things to watch?
Well, it's a film, so...
So no, then. No. Not. Dead to me. Don't care.
Frankenstein Chronicles. Yeah, I did really, really like it. I'm probably going to watch more of it.
But you don't want to make any guarantees because of your track record?
No, exactly.
Very smart.
So what are we doing next? What's the next one we're doing?
Oh, we're doing Beforeigners.
Beforeigners?
So, from what I've been told about this, it is a TV show where either people from the past come forward in time.
Right.
So are foreigners from before, Beforeigners.
Oh, God, no. Oh,
no. But apparently it's people coming from, like, all over, like, history to be in this, like, one present.
Is it a comedy? Because that could be quite a good comedy.
I hope so.
Oh, it's Norwegian. I'll take it all back. Watch anything out of Norway.
And Travellers, which, whatever the fuck that is. Time travel, probably. Because that's the only way it can link.
That's a point. What's the link for this week's show?
Spooky stuff that you might like, but that's about it. Like,
cool.
It's hard to link horror things without being like, here are two adaptations of the same story, which isn't a bad idea. Need to try and find multiple versions of Dracula.
To be fair, we've done one TV show.
No, we've done two Draculas.
We've done two, yeah. Oh my God.
Did we pair them together? Please tell me we paired them
together.
No,
we didn't, because the first Dracula was series 1, and then the second Dracula was in 2020, because we watched it together. You were at ours.
Yeah.
Just before it all went to shit.
What did we pair that second Dracula with?
Pass.
Fine Chianti, maybe? Hannibal would have made sense as well, I guess.
I've got a feeling it was like an Inside Number 9 or something that those guys did. Was that it or no? Am I getting that completely wrong?
I don't even know when 2020 was.
Season 6, I think. No, season 5 it would have been. Wait. Oh yeah, True Blood. We did it with True Blood in 2021.
Oh, so what we've done is we've paired Vampire Diaries and Dracula, which should have gone with True Blood and Dracula and
True
Dracula.
Blood and Dracula. We're good at this after 7.5 years.
What's good is that everyone got to hear the thought process where we went like, huh, that would be a stupid, wait a minute.
Oh, hang on, no.
Well, that's exactly what we do with UK US. We're like, right, here are two versions of this exact same TV show.
Yeah.
Let's smush them together, see what happens.
The exciting thing is we are only 11 episodes away from our 200th episode. That is exciting.
It's scary. Because that's a large number.
Also, the gap between 0 and 100 felt way longer than 100 to 200.
It's because it was. Because first couple of years, we weren't that great at recording all the time.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That and the last few years have been just like fake news.
Yes. But yeah, Frankenstein Chronicles was great. Fade out, probably.